Good evening. It is Sissy from Sissy's Cards and Crafts. Thank you for joining me in my craft room. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Eastern Ontario, Canada. Welcome again. So tonight, instead of creating a card and then showing you what we're going to create together or walking you through it, I thought, you know what, let's just kind of start from scratch and I'll show you kind of how I create my process. So before we start, I do want to apologize for the lovely psoriasis on my hands. Yes, it is painful, but it is not contagious, especially through the screen. I'm sorry, it kind of is a little maybe bothersome to watch. I apologize. It's what it is. I can't do anything about it right now. Anyway, so Stampin' Up! As I've said, lots of great products. You'll see how easy it is to put something together when you have the product. The last couple times I've been on, I talked about Celebration and how the new, how to become a new demonstrator and some of the deals they have. I'm just going to turn this other light on here. Hopefully it doesn't, maybe that's going to be too much. Try to avoid it there. Anyway, so here's the little flyer. I finally found it in all of my stuff. So we've got all of this lovely stuff. I have shown it to you before. It is online. Sissy's Cards and Crafts, stampinup.net. And here is what I wanted to tell you and what I've stumbled through. So here, love what you do. Join Stampin' Up! As an independent demonstrator and help others discover the joy that comes with creativity. So yes, you can do that. You can do videos, you can do craft nights, you can sell the product, you can do all that. That is an option. Or you can just be a hobby demonstrator. And I believe it's, you have the, once you get your pack, your kit, then you've got 6 months and you have to then have $400 in sales or purchases a quarter. It's not that confusing. When you get reading about it, it can be. So if you have any issues, reach out. I'll explain some of the stuff, but basically it is $400 a quarter you want to spend. So it's kind of, I think of just maybe $120 a month you're looking at. And then of course you do get a discount. So it's up to you, but if not, why not give it a try? Like for the 6 months, you're golden. Right now, if you do join, so let me read this and then we'll get it right because I've mucked it up the last few times. So when you join during Celebration, you can build your starter kit, which is anything. It isn't like other direct sale sort of things where you pick a kit that's already put together for you. This all really is anything in the annual catalog, anything in our online section, anything they sell, as long as you do not go above 165 total. So you can't go 165.01, but as long as you are as close to that as possible, then you only pay $135. So that's your kit. That includes shipping. You will have to pay whatever your taxes are for your province. I can only bring demonstrators on I can only sell in Canada. So, if in the States, these all apply if you are from the States or another country with Stampin' Up! This Celebrations deals apply, but the numbers are going to be different as far as the costs. So anyways, 165 in Canada of product, but you only pay 135. Again, that includes shipping. You'll have to put your taxes on it depending on what your provincial taxes are. Plus, you'll get to choose one of 2 free bonus options to your starter kit. So this is where Celebration deals come in. So option 1, your choice of 2 marker sets. So these Stampin' Write markers, which are the same as our ink, but they're in a marker form. They have 2 ends, a thin end and a brush end, or a bullet tip end and a brush end. So you get to choose 2 packages. There's 4 different packages. We have our brights, neutrals, regals, and subtles. So you can just choose 2 of them. These are $50 a package. So you're getting $100 worth of product right there. Plus, you get a beautiful stamp set that you can work with. So that is what is option 1. So you get your $165 worth of product, you get the stamp set, you pick 2 packages of markers, and you're only paying $135. Awesome, awesome deal. Or if you don't want option 1, then you can do option 2, which again, you are going to get 160, or you're only going to pay 135, but you're going to get an additional $41 in free product. So that's $206 worth of product you can find. So something like our, and I'm probably not going to find it now, and don't mind all the ticks and stuff in my catalog, because you know that's my wish list way of doing things. Anyway, our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, that's what I was trying to find. Not going to find it too quickly here. Let's see what I can find in the back, if I can. Page 56. Okay, I didn't go far enough. 50, and I did have that turned over. So our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, the mini one, like I've shown, I believe they still have the boho blue. It's in the clearance section. It's a little bit cheaper, not a whole lot, but it is a little bit cheaper. But it may not be there because it was discontinued when I got it. So mini Stampin' Cup is $90. The regular size one is $177. So normally you can't put that in your starter kit, but now you could if you chose rather this option 2. So that is a sweet, sweet way of joining and getting some product. So that is what I wanted to show you. I'm not muddling it up. The other thing is this runs from January and February, so 2 months. But the beginning of February, they added extra product. So here we've got this photopolymer planted paradise set. So you can't quite see it. That these are free with all of these are free with $75 purchase. The Celebration Beautiful Butterflies, Botanicals Polymer stamp set. I believe it's a reverse stamp set. So you've got on one side kind of your background, the other side the more detailed. There is an alphabet die set as well. So that you can write just about anything with, right? You've got all of your letters there. You can write anything with. In English or French. Then you have this Celebration Trusty Tools die. It's an awesome set. In the clearance, I believe, is still the paper that corresponds with that. Maybe next week I will do a couple cards with that because I had a lot of fun with that. The Bee Builder Punch is there, and there's also coordinating stamps and papers that go with that I believe again is in the clearance. Celebration Happy Labels, so a label punch, something I really like. I'm thinking of placing an order just to be able to get that. The Celebration Kit Happy Houseplants, so it's framed pictures that you're like a 3D sort of raised pictures there for house. Another kit, Hooray for Honeycomb. It's kind of a birthday kit. This gorgeous Night of Navy and gold glittered ribbon. And then the brush brass butterflies. So, you know, these stamp sets are usually around $32 and up. Die sets are usually a little bit more. So right away, awesome deals. All right. So I did say I would just kind of create with you, but I did pick out a bundle, and this bundle here is the Grow with Love bundle. And I'm sorry, my camera just does not want to seem to really, I noticed that on my video last night. It's kind of blurry and I apologize. I will get better equipment, I think. So anyways, this is the bundle. The number is 164804, and the bundle is both together. You do save 10% when you do that. You can buy them separate. So you can just buy the stamp set and you can just buy the die set, or you can bundle it. So this is $78.25 for the bundle. And it's got some awesome things. I'm going to show it to you in a second. I just want to point out this is my shopping link, Sissy's Cards and Crafts.stampinup.net. Or, you know, you should be able to just Google Sissy's Cards and Crafts, Stampin' Up, and that will come up. And I try to put it in my videos, the link there, as well as the product. I'll try to more and more to do that. All right, so that's what I thought we would do tonight. And so this is the set. This is a cling set or a red rubber set. So it's obviously red rubber. It looks a little bit different. I can't see through it. So even when I put it on my blocks that I can see through, you have to add the sticker to the back. These come in a sheet. You punch them out. Then you have to add these stickers to the back. Some demonstrators don't do that. It can be a little tricky, and I mucked this one up a bit doing it. It does work without the stickers. It's just you can't quite see here. However, when I'm putting that on, I've got to make sure it is pretty much straight because I cannot see through it to make sure that any words are straight on that. All right, so this is our red rubber. I showed the other day the Stampin' Scrub and the conditioner, the cleaner and conditioner. This is really, really good for these stamps. And so like I had shown, and I'll just pop one on here. So you stick it on your block, or you've got it on your block because you've just stamped with it. There is a wet and dry side, and there's like little water droplets up in this corner. And then there is the sun in that corner, and it's on a good base. So I'm not like it's a non-slip. If you hear a big bang, my dog is about to come through the door. That's what it is. She can open the door handles because we have the lever handles. So she just swats it and comes in. So all right, on the wet side, just squirt a little bit of the Stampin' Mist, or you can use water for any of these stamps. But with the rubber, as we all know, it kind of can crack and dry. So you want to make sure you're conditioning it. So good rub there, and these little bristles get right down into everything. Now it's wet, so I'm going to come over here on the dry side and again give it a good scrub, and it's nice and dry and clean and ready to go. So that's the Stampin' Scrub. Again, really good for our red rubber stamps to make sure that they're clean. And plus, you know, we always want to keep our stamps clean. You can have this cloth, chamois cloth. It comes with our Glass Mat Studio, and obviously you need it because what I am wiping up here is just glue but this Glass Mat Studio, it is an awesome surface to work with. One, pretty much everything comes up off of it. I've wiped permanent marker off of this. So, you know, obviously dry erase or regular markers, you can use, oops, sorry, I dropped it. We could draw on it, you know, if I wanted to mark my measurements out, I could do that and then just wipe them off. I heard one demonstrator say that she used this for, or she actually did some heat embossing on here just to see if it would come off, and it did. And I just squirt this with some water to keep it moist. So I was just kind of have that squirt bottle here, and I kind of stole an old DVD case that I pop it in and keep it in there. You can buy these kits from Stampin' Up, so you can have kits there. Sprayed that water all over here and didn't wipe it up. And it also comes with this lovely little tray here that it's not going to wipe up as easy. I've got some red ink that stained it, but that's fine. Just shows I'm using it. But it's a non-slip surface that you just keep your goodies in. It holds your blocks. It keeps stuff kind of up out of your way. All right, now that we're nice and clean, I didn't plan on doing that, kind of wasting time here, but all right, so what are we going to do? These are our stamps. We've got basil, rosemary, mint, and thyme. This lovely label stamp, which is a good size, right? Like these sizes here, it says images are at 85%. So these are going to be a little smaller. It does a really awesome thing, this stamp set. And you can't really see it in this picture here. But you know when you go to buy your seeds in the spring, and they come in that cute little package. Well, this is what this die does. It creates a little package. So I was just playing around with this. This by far is not perfect. The paper was even stuff I already scored with other measurements. But this is that die. Here's the rosemary stamp on here. And it even gives you these little dies here. These ones here, 2 circles, 2 big circles, 2 little circles that help create these little tabs that you can put a string to run it through. And look how they just fit a card. There's actually 3 cards in there. So you want to give a little gift card, great. Or maybe you do have seeds that you want to hand to somebody or keep. And I actually have some morning glory seeds that I want to actually make one of these for and keep. So I can see where that would be really, really nice to either gift or to manage your seeds. Or like I say, you want to give somebody a gift card. So that's this great die. This will be one that I'm going to keep for, I think, for a long, long time. Then we have our dies to cut out each of those herbs. There's another one here. 2 label dies and a nice little circle die that's for this stamp that says grown with love. So this smaller stamp here, grown with love. All right, so what are we going to do? I don't think we're going to use the big die right now. I think what I want to do is I also pulled out this gorgeous paper. So this bundles, you can buy it separately or it bundles with the Storybook collection. So Storybook Gardens, Storybook Friends, where it's got the little bunnies, little hedgehog stamps. They're so, so cute. And then some, sorry, didn't mean to make that noise. Some gardening tools. So this is the DSP 12 by 12. All the colors there that are in the pages are listed. So I thought we'd use this. So just to show you, you've got these cuts here that we can cut out to use for card fronts or scrapbooking. Then you got this paper is so cute. These lovely little cottages, English cottages, right? It's just awesome. There's some of the gardening stuff. This is one of my favorite patterns. And then these are some of the cute, cute little characters that are there in the stamps. None of these do die cut out though, those ones. We also have, I think this is the same paper here. Yeah, with that house. This lovely little strawberry, and a lot of people have done a lot of stuff with this strawberry paper. It's so beautiful. Now, some of these, obviously, that's why I'm kind of hitting through this paper like this. Some of these will die cut out. I believe this is one. This is one. Is that one? That might not be one. I think it's reversed, but I could be wrong. But there's a stamp like that. I believe this little one is one as well. So there's some cute little ones here. And I think these 2 are the same. Just one's gray, one is brown. So cute paper. What else is here? That one had that on it. So there's another one with the backing on it as well. this here, some other gardening ones. And I don't believe these die cut out either, but we can have a look at that. And then there's this paper as well. So the one I thought we would use tonight is this one. Oh, and this also comes with a whole slew of die cuts. I'm not sure where oh, right here. So I have used quite a few of them, but you get all these lovely, lovely little die cuts that go with that paper as well. So really quite sweet, 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 sweet. So you get little characters, little gardening, little just cute stuff. So awesome for Easter. We're going to do a lot with that. I could just, my mind just goes crazy with it. Right now, we're doing this. So I love this paper. I thought this looked great with maybe some rosemary, and I thought I'd bring in the Mossy Meadow. So I have Mossy Meadow cardstock. We're going to do our regular cut at 5.5. Now, I will surprise you guys one time and do something entirely different, like a fun fold or a totally different orientation of a card. So we've got cut at 5.5, scored at 4.25. I'm going to fold that and score it with my bone folder here. So it's ready to go, and that is our card base. So that's ready. I think we're going to do that this way this time instead of this way. We're going to actually make it go this way. I think the last one I did was that orientation as well. All right, so let's put just a sheet of this on here. I'm wondering if we want to put a white underneath that, just to give it a nice little pop of color, or if we want to just have it directly on. Do you know what? I think we're just going to do it directly on. So I just want to go 1/8 of an inch smaller than what this card base is. So I'm going to, because it's running this way and I want to look at the orientation of my paper, I think I'm going to cut my 5.5 side first. So for 5.5, it is going to be 5 3/8. That's what I'm cutting. Okay, so I'm just going 1/8 of an inch smaller. So 5 3/8, make sure my edge is up there. Give it a cut. Pop that over there. And then now my other side is going to be 4, instead of 4.25, it's 4 1/8. Okay, make sure that's straight. Give it a cut. And there we go. So that will pop on here. I'm not going to secure it right yet because I might want to add some ribbon or something there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take my white paper here. I'm rethinking that. Do I want white or gray? I had some gray cardstock here. Well, since I can't find the gray cardstock, you know what? We're going to go with white. And we're going to do our stamping. So what I'm thinking is I want to just maybe create a label with the stamp on it, and that that will go on the front with our sentiment. So I want to pull my label out. Now, I'm going to need a bit of a bigger block for this. If you look in the catalog, it will tell you the size of blocks that you need. Sometimes. So for this one, I think I'm going to use this one here, which is our C block, I believe. So if you look, it's actually laser engraved on it. No, it isn't I block. So I'm going to pop that on there. But I want to make sure it fits so I get even pressure all the way around. Okay, now I think I'm going to pull in some black because I don't want to just have green everywhere. So I'm going to do Memento. Now you can see I've got some edges there, and that's just because this is a bigger stamp set. What a lot of demonstrators do, and I probably should have done, and I'll show you now. I'm going to just kind of stamp this off. Just double check that I did not totally ruin it by, I put the backing sticker on wrong. So, all right, I'm going to give it a clean here to get that ink out of that edge because I don't want to muck it up. So there, it's clean. All right, this is what I want to show you. A lot of demonstrators, when it's a bigger stamp, will actually just do this to stamp it up, and that's what I should probably do. And I also like to keep my Memento ink stored upside down so that ink is at the surface. Okay, so I'm going to pop this on here. I'm going to stamp, even pressure down, hold that for a second. One thing that, like I've shared before, that helped me when I started stamping, and I was just, see, and that did that incorrectly. So good thing I've got more paper here. Thing that helped me is our paper is fibers. So you've got to let the fibers get that ink saturate into the fibers. You can't just kind of stamp and pull up. Now, why is that not hitting that corner? I'm wondering if I just kind of, that whole stamp is not working right. If you do get a stamp that's not functioning, there seems to be a consistent problem with it, you can contact Stampin' Up and they will replace it for you. All right, so I want to make sure, because I'm going to press that corner down. There, I got it in there. All right, I might put a note on my file on this case to make sure I do that properly. Okay, because that wasn't even the corner that I notched up. This was the corner I notched up. All right, put my stamps back. Okay, so yeah, when you know the fibers have to absorb that ink, you kind of take things a little bit slower. All right, so now I'm going to use my Mossy Meadow ink. I'm going to ink this nice rosemary up here. Or no, I wanted to use thyme. Yeah, let's use the rosemary. Okay, so I'm going to come in here, actually do a quick trial one here. Sorry, my phone just dingled. Yeah, I think that should work. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to come in here, and sorry for my head popping in the camera if it does, but I want to make sure that I'm looking straight down to get everything correct in there. Okay, so there's our rosemary stamp. Give that a clean. Okay, awesome, awesome. All right, what I'm also debating on doing is coloring it in with my blends. So you know what? Since I have this one here, I'm going to look for my blends here. I don't have a Mossy Meadow, but I do have an old olive, and I'm just wondering how that would look. So I'm going to just try it on here. You can see the blends. There's a brush tip, and there's a bullet tip, and there's like a fine line and a thick line to help you see that. So I'm just going to kind of come in here and see. Oh, you know what? These are too fine. If I color them in, it's going to be, one, tedious, but I'm going to go out of the lines. However, that color doesn't look that bad. Or I could come in here with the light one. Your blends always come in packages of 2, and they are going to be a light version and a darker version, and you can blend them. Yeah, you know what? I don't think I'm going to worry about it. I think I'll make a mess. But that would be a set of blends. And there are those alcohol base. These are the, oh no, they're blender pens, sorry. These are just the Stampin' Right markers. These are the in color ones. These are actually no longer available. They're colors that have retired. But you can see they're a little bit, they're like a regular marker. They do have the bullet end and the brush end. They've changed the bullet end so it looks more like the other ones. But these just kind of, they write like regular markers. Or you've got the thin and they coordinate exactly with our inks. So if they work really good, if you mess up and you want to touch it up, so maybe you did have a gap and I wanted to just kind of, so for this one, I could have maybe taken the black one and just kind of touch that line up if I was brave enough, which I'm not, so I wouldn't, but that's what they're meant to do. Okay, I digress. So I was debating actually cutting out, stamping and actually cutting out the rosemary. And maybe let's just give that a try to see what it would be like. So that is going to be the rosemary. I think I'm fine with it that way. But you know what? Let's just see what we've got. What did I do with that? Just bear with me. I want to... you know what? Let's use this just for a different color. I hope I didn't have this specifically for something else and I've just now buggered it up because I cut it. But anyway, again, I digress. I'm going to use kind of tone on tone to do this. And what we're going to do is we're just going to do a little bit of a trial here. So I'm going to put my stamp back on my block. I'm going to ink it up. All right. And because I've got that whole side there, I could, you know, if I was smart. Oops. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to do that. I could just kind of pull a little bit of that off just so I don't rock it. But because I'm going to cut this out, I should be fine. And, you know, I'm going to be careful anyways, but just be mindful of that if you're going to be doing something like that. Okay, I'm going to just stamp this down. Again, let it absorb in there. Now with the die cuts, you're not going to get the word. So we've got rosemary listed on here, but it's not going to show when we do the die cut. That's not part of it. The die actually cuts that word off. So let's cut both of these out and see what we've got. So I'm going to take this and just to help this go through my machine. Now, don't think we've wasted that paper, because you know what? We've got a whole other side, and with it being that white, thick white, we're golden. We've got lots. It won't be wasted. I don't like wasting anything if I don't have to. All right. So I've got this. I want to just grab, so again, sorry about the head, but I'm getting my head in. I'm going to grab some washi tape and my plates. All right. And my mini cut and emboss machine. One day maybe I'll show you the big one that I have, but again, the big one is not the Stampin' Up brand. It is the Stampin' Up used to use the Sizzix ones years ago. Apparently, it was before my time, but hopefully that's on one of my next purchases, is getting that, the Stampin' Up one. Okay, so this obviously is not 100%. So I'm going to just tape this on to the best of my ability. So I like to get it on when I'm lining things up, I like to do it right on my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So when I adhere or stick this die to the paper, I can actually go right onto the tray as well, or the plate, and I really push it down nice and tight on the plate and not so much on the paper. Okay, so let's do this. And we're going to cut that out. So there we go. And I can reuse this piece of tape if I pull it off nice and gentle. My die, I'm going to just tuck there. That's garbage. Just, ooh, keep talking to myself, right? Okay, so then we're going to pop our die on here. And like I said, it's not going to cut out the name of the herb. It's just going to cut out the herb itself, which is fine. And you'll see in a second why that might not be such a bad thing. Okay, so I'm going to put this through. There were feet for this, so it wouldn't slide, but they came off, and I've lost a couple, and so I wasn't able to reattach them. Okay, so there we go. I think I'm liking that. And there, of course, is the name. I like to just stick that tape on my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and then I have it for later. Okay, always put your stuff back, otherwise you'll lose them and you'll be very, very sad. And it's just, honestly, it's horrible when you lose a little tiny die on the floor and you cannot find it. It's just painful. These won't stick for much longer. For some reason, that just isn't the best process, but the envelope is great to hold it in. Okay, all right. So here we go. We're going to put this down. We're going to put this down, and then we put this on top, right? So even though we cut the name off, I now have that rosemary there, and I don't have to worry about coloring that in. I've got it colored. I think I like that. So then the other thing that we're going to have here is a sentiment. And You're on My Mind sounds good. Or we have Thanks so much for your love and care. But I think You're on My Mind kind of is the one I'd like, and then I could put it right there. I think works well. So I don't even know. I guess this one would fit in the bigger one, but I don't really want that. All right, so I'm going to do You're on my mind. Okay, and that's the die we're going to cut. Paper, 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 paper. Now, I like to stamp first, then do my die cutting around it. Not everybody does that, but I'm kind of weird like that. Okay, trial run. Pop it down. Now with these smaller ones, you're tempted to rock it back and forth, and try not to do that, because if you did have ink on the edge, you could really, speaking of buggering it up, yeah, you could kind of mess things up. So try not to do that. Try to come down straight onto the paper, which I kind of didn't there. All right, but it worked out okay. Stamp is good. Clean it off. All right. You invest a lot in these stamps. You want to use them for your cards, for whatever reason you're doing cards. So, you don't want to see them get damaged, right? And cleaning them on time is important. So after you've used them, give them a good clean, and then putting them away so you don't lose them is important as well. All right, we're going to cut 2 of these, and I'm going to show you why in a second. So I'm going to put this on, and when you're running something through that's square or rectangle, don't put it through this way or this way. Try to get a corner in, so it's going to go in a little bit easier, be easier on your machine. But it helps when you're lining the die up to look at it straight. Okay, so again, it's here. I'm going to grab that piece of washi tape and pop it on here. And I'm going to stick it down. All right, got my plates lined up as they need to be with that E formation. Run it through here. We're good. I'm going to just tuck that over there so I don't lose it, and that's where that tray is handy. That's just everything kind of goes there, and I don't need to worry about it. I'm going to just make this a little smaller. Not that it's not going to fit, but I'll just go through a little bit easier. Okay, so again, that E formation where the white is going to, base plate's going to stick out a little bit further. Then the cutting plate, and then the top plate matches with that base plate, and I'm going to run it through. These plates are my original plates, so they are over a year old. Still, they're well loved, but they are still going strong. I do have a set to replace it when I need to, so I'm not caught halfway through a project without having that to use. Okay, so why I cut 2 is I want to offset them. So what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to just cut it in half, and then we are going to adhere it so it just sticks out either end, and it looks like I have another second one underneath, and just want to get it kind of even on both sides. So then when we adhere it to the card, we're pulling up that base color, and it's not quite as harsh against because I want to put these 2 together a little bit. All right, the other thing I want to do is add a ribbon. Now I went on and to check and see this ribbon is discontinued. So any ribbon that you have that will match, I think would look nice. And I want to use this peach ribbon, or that's pecan centered stripe ribbon. So it's just going to kind of go, and we did this yesterday, where I just pulled it around like this and put it there. And then I think I'm gonna put these on, and then this will kind of sit like that. And then I'll do my faux bow down there, I think. Or if I don't want to do that, I could just tie a bow. So what I do is I put my 2 bunny ears, try to make them straight. Now this doesn't have a sheen on one side, both sides are the same. So then I'm just going to give it a tie. The other thing with those blends, the alcohol markers, is you can color your gems and your ribbon with them, and that will work. So I could almost just kind of tack a bow on there. I think maybe that's what I'll do. Actually, I'll just use this piece. So here's my ribbon, and I've got lots of this, so I'd like to use it up. I'm just going to hold that there, stick this elastic on here, and I've tied there. So I've got my little knobby end to grab, which I find helpful. Okay, so because I've made the decision to not put the ribbon underneath, I'm going to start adhering this together. So here we go. We're almost done. We should be less than an hour. That's been my goal. Don't want to keep you here all night. Really, it would take me probably just 10-15 minutes to do this if I wasn't yattering. So maybe one night I will just show you that. But hey, when I can sit and talk and nobody's gonna bother me, I might just do that, right? But the goal is to be able to have some classes, or at least videos where we can chat through it. That would be really, really nice, especially if I could find a moderator that would help with that, so I don't have to look at the computer and look at my crafting at the same time. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm not going to come to the end there because I want peeking out. So, and make sure you're getting this the right way. So when you do a die cut, you can obviously see the part that's pushed down and the front and the back. So make sure you do have the proper part sticking up for when you do this. It's hard to, again, show on the camera, but okay, so I'm going to just position this. So I've got maybe just about 1/8 of an inch sticking out on either side. Biggest thing is make sure it's even and you've got your edges matching up there. Okay, so I do think I want to just put that on a bit of an angle and then pop this in here, maybe up there. No, I think I'm going to pop it there just so we've got a little bit of an overlap there. And then I'm going to do my bow. So 2 little bunny ears. Whew, I wouldn't want to be any shorter of a piece to do this. If you do it with the ribbon on the spool, you can save a little bit. It's kind of tricky to save stuff. You end up wasting stuff if you do it this way. So then I can kind of just pop that bow on there, and then we can put some jewels on. How's that look? I will trim those edges up. I just want to kind of position things. So that's where I'm going to put this, and I think I'm going to glue this down. So it's a direct adhesion to this. So there we go, on a bit of an angle. Then I'm going to use dimensionals for this. So where's my dimensionals? Here we go. Normally I just do one on either end, but because I've got this bit of a gap here in the middle, I think I'm going to stick one there. It's not a huge gap, but I think I'm just to give it some added support so we don't sag in the middle. It's important. Make sure I get all those little backings in the garbage so I don't get them on my card. Okay, so I think that goes about there like that. Make sure it's straight. Now I'm going to get my ends, and I like to kind of, what I do is I cut one where I want it, and then I kind of fold it over like that. So then I can match the other end, and then I know I've got it the same. Looks good. Now, to adhere these little things, glue dots. Glue dots are awesome, and Rose Coleman showed me this little trick with a bit of twine there, and then you've got your glue dot here. I know it's kind of hard to see, but find the front and the back of your ribbon and adhere that glue dot right to the ribbon. These are really, really sticky. And then I can just pop that on there. You know what? I think I'm going to put that straight. I'm going to tear this excess off so I don't have to have that tail hanging out there. But they're really, really handy, those glue dots. Okay, so there we go. That is the outside of the card. For the inside, oh, I was going to put some jewels on as well. These antique pearls are so sweet. They, of course, can be bought separately, but they are part of the suite, the Storybook collection suite. And let's, oops, wrong one. Let's just stick some of these on. Oh, my putty end is not wanting to cooperate lately. And now I might have just rejigged that one. I stuck it right to that. Okay. So I'm going to put it right there. Like, these are just so, so pretty. And then I think I'm going to do one here. I say to try to do a triangle with them. I like to kind of put two closer together. So whether the two are up here or over here. I think I'm going to just move this one slightly. There. And you could do more if you want, so you could add more there. All right, so those are the blooming, or the antique pearls. These, again, you could color if you wanted to, but I think they look really good. You know what? Not happy with that. Okay, I'm going to put them down here. There, I think that looks a little better. Okay, then my inside. So if you take one of your full sheets and you divide it in half, so cut along, cut it in half, and then cut it, those halves, in quarters. You get these lovely, you get 8 inserts that can just fit inside there. So what I'm going to do is we put You're on My Mind. For this set, it says, thanks so much for your love and care. Or from the garden of, you could put. I don't know. I don't really want either one of those sayings in there. So I think I will just put this here. And then I will, I might just, again, pull up our lovely rosemary, and I think I'm just going to stamp it right there. So a lot of people will do this right on their glass, and well, why not? Let's be brave and do it. So I'm going to stamp this, and then I'm just going to actually come off here. There, just to kind of give it a little bit of a extra, makes it pull that together. We could also use some of our designer series paper in here. Could put just a strip at the bottom, and just to kind of pull that all in. Why not? Let's just do, I think I'll just do 3/4 of an inch. You know what? I'm just going to do 1/2 inch. Just because I don't want to overpower it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere that in the center, and then I'm just going to kind of put that along the bottom. So that is that 2 3/4. No, this is actually 4 1/4 that way, right? Because that's half of it. Should have known that. Okay, so let's just put this in. Wipe this up before I cause myself trouble. With this glue, again, it is really, really good. It's really sticky. You don't need a lot, but also you don't want to put a whole lot on there, especially white, because it will wrinkle the paper. Any white paper with glue will do that, so try not to overuse. Because you could do a lovely, lovely card and then end up seeing all that the glue underneath it, and that would look sad. Okay, so there we go. I will put my sentiment there, or maybe I don't have to. Maybe that's where I could just write my little letter. All right, so that's my process. We are just at an hour. Again, if I didn't talk so much, wouldn't take so long. But thanks for joining me tonight. Come back. Hopefully I will be back on tomorrow night. Take care. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening, what's left of it, and a wonderful day tomorrow. And God bless.